Hi guys, I love Photo Booth Video Diary. Today I want to talk about rule number 3 of Love or Girl Fall. So, I was recently writing something to someone by hand. Love letters, love the mail. And I was writing about this lesson I feel like I learned in my last relationship and just through relationships with people, not even romantic, just relationships with people. Because I was listening to this thing or reading something a long time ago that was whenever you get angry, you are thinking in your head that someone should behave in some way and that they're not behaving in the way that they should. And then there's this other book I read when I was 17 called The Golden Key to Happiness that made me think about how it said, how you think of someone else in your head is exactly how they are. If you're thinking of this person as, selfish, disrespectful, rude, you're thinking of them in that way. So, of course, that's how you're experiencing them. But if you can give yourself, the distance to give, the psychological distance to give people grace, you'll have such a better experience of the world. And that's why rule number 3, want nothing, but only accept the best, is kind of double-pronged. I think that a really big hack to just feeling better about yourself, about the world, is approaching it with curiosity, approaching it with openness, acceptance, and letting people be who they are, letting people show up how they want to show up, and accepting them for that, which, it's you have to wake up and choose that every single day. I'm better at it some days, better, not great at it others. When I get hungry, I'm really not good at it. And yeah, but it's a choice to just let people be who they are, to want nothing, to let people surprise you, to let the world surprise you, to let God surprise you if you believe in God. And that's how I rationalize wanting nothing from people. But then there's the other side, which is accept only the best. And I think a lot of this has to do with your relationship to yourself. I obviously very publicly on a blog have been working on my relationship to myself really consciously, I would say, for a couple years. Ebbs and flows, easier some days, harder others. However, I think where I've kind of landed now, I want the best for myself. I feel I've arrived at this place where I think in a piece that may or may not be up by now, Miss Ananya was writing about liking yourself, whether or not you actually like yourself. And I think it takes time. It takes waking up and choosing to. It takes having the quiet, as she writes, to get to know yourself and to understand yourself, your preferences, who you are, who you want to be, and to wake up and prioritize yourself every single day. And even today, I was gonna do this thing, and then I was oh, I'm tired, I don't really want to do it. And I was reminded of this quote that's if you can't keep a promise to yourself, what good is your word worth? So it's showing up for yourself in the way you would a good friend. If I said I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it. Okay, this is the last thing I'll say about this rule. And I think this is verbiage that's definitely on different corners of different subcultures of the internet. And I've surfed around a lot of them. So it's on spiritual internet. I think it's on very alpha, Run and Iron Man internet. I think it's on divine feminine internet. But I do think once you learn how to actually like yourself, the way in which you let other people treat you does change, and the ways that you're willing to prioritize yourself changes. For example, with dating in New York, crazy fun, crazy. And obviously I used to write about dating on the blog, and I've had I have so many stories. But I think that when I learned how to actually like myself, what I was willing to not put up with, what I was willing to spend time and attention on, just changed. Whether it was someone with a different communication style than what I was ready to accept for myself. If it was someone who didn't seem to have like the same priorities or values that I wanted in a partner, or even like the willingness to be like, okay, I think I'm like ready for a partner. Like those are phases of your life, and you're going to have to like be able to check in with yourself. But once you're able to say no to things, like you're saying yes to something better. And I feel like I witnessed that like as I was really trying to understand like the phase of my life that I was at and still am in, and like what I was ready for just in general, like not even relationally, but like what I was ready for, what I wanted. I felt like these old like patterns kept coming up, and I had to be like, actually no, like that's not who I am now, that's not what I'll accept, that's not what I'll entertain. And each time I made that choice to prioritize myself, I feel like the world, God, whatever, just like met me and like listened and was like, oh, okay, like you're ready for this now, girl, let's go. So yeah, like I think wanting nothing and allowing people to be exactly who they are and not trying to change anyone is like a love letter to yourself, a love letter to the world, because it's like, okay, I'll show up in this world that you've like made. And then once you do that, once you learn how to like really like yourself, I feel like it's easier to accept nothing but the best, because you deserve it. And I hope that's something that you're learning and that you walk away with for Lover Girl Fall. I'm gonna go. It's Thanksgiving for me. It probably won't be when I post this, but I'm gonna go have my Thanksgiving dinner. And I love you guys, and I love the world. I love waking up in it, and I love